This is Picking Up the Pixels RPG Love for January 2019. Welcome back to another episode of Picking Up the Pixels RPG Love. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Musum.
Hello.
And Mina.
Hi.
Let's just dive right into what you've been playing this past month. Musum.
So this is tangentially related to our podcast. I picked up the Persona Dancing in the Moonlight games.
Right.
I've really only played Persona 3 Dancing in the Moonlight. I haven't checked out 5 yet. So the story setup to these games is that basically your representatives in the Velvet Room have declared, basically challenged each other to a dance contest. So
perfect. That's exactly how I would want that story to go.
Yeah. So basically your Persona 3 characters all wake up in, the Velvet Room. They don't understand where they are, and then I can't remember her name. Is it Elizabeth or
Elizabeth.
She Persona 4?
Yeah.
Elizabeth's 3.
Okay.
Margaret's
so Elizabeth,
4.
Right. Okay.
Elizabeth wakes you up and explains what's going on, and from there, it isn't really a guided story, and that's where the people saying there's no story thing for it comes from. All the characters have social links that will give you little cutscenes with them, and they are dependent on you accomplishing certain things in the game. Sometimes it's just dance to all the songs, and sometimes it's get so-and-so to their level 5 social link or something. But I have no idea how many social link episodes each one has, but I'm guessing it's 10. I've unlocked 10 for them. I've not beat it yet because I haven't played it in a few weeks, but like the dancing part of the game I think is mostly pretty good.
You played the Persona 4 dancing, right?
Yes.
Does it feel pretty similar?
Yes. Occasionally songs feel less fair in a way.
Okay.
And it's because it's been a few weeks since I've thought about that. I'm trying to think about how to unpack that statement. Like the way the visuals of the game goes is, typically you are looking in a circle around the screen in one direction or another. Mm-hmm. Like they're guiding you in terms of your button presses. And this one, I feel like, violates that rule in a couple places, on a couple tracks.
Okay.
But for the most part, I like it. I like the music. I'm sure there's just as many songs as on Persona 4, but it feels like less songs.
Right. Well, especially without that story mode there, it sort of naturally feels a little bit thinner.
Yeah. I was real excited when I first got it. I thought, oh, cool, as a VR thing. Let's see what this is. And at the beginning of the game, the only VR element you have is you pick a character, and it loads you into a room, and it's like literally just a giant square room with like a grid on it that's gray or something, and the character's just standing there.
Oh no, not even dancing or anything. It's just like, look around this room.
Yeah. Like you can't move around the room really. You can change like the character's posture, like they have like 3 poses. And then the other one's a dance. And it's just super weird. Honestly, it's the first time I played one of these games where I felt like an old man staring at a teenager.
Right. He's like, I feel uncomfortable with what I'm doing here.
Yeah. So,
oh, man.
But I think I heard, like, I think the last time I played, I unlocked a thing where I can go into certain characters' rooms now and go through their stuff.
Which also seems weird.
But I think you can do that in VR too, and I haven't tried that yet. But,
okay.
Anyway, so point being, if you're buying this for VR, don't.
Right. Go buy Tetris Effect.
Probably. I haven't bought it yet. I'm broke.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. A few of the notes I wrote down. Elizabeth renames herself to LP, spelled ELLE-P.
Great.
What?
You gotta have your dancing themed street name, I guess.
Yeah. For some reason, the Goro Ketchi DLC appears in this one, which I found kind of weird.
Oh, huh.
Just him dancing through a song. You know, they got I didn't write down his name. You know, they got Kenji showing up too. Kenji? Is it Kenji?
Yeah.
Tall guy, brown hair. That certain story element removes him from the game.
The hat. Yeah.
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 Anyway, like I mostly like it. It's because they're constantly talking about this duo with the Persona 5 characters in it.
Mm-hmm.
It really like makes me wonder, why did they even split these up into 2 games?
Right.
It's very strange, and like you only get like they made a port of Persona 4, Dancing All Night or whatever it's called, but you can only get that if you buy the Persona 3 and 5 package.
Like the bundle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I loaded that one up, and graphically it was the equivalent of just using my Vita TV to play that game on the TV.
Oh, no.
Oh, so it's not even like remastered, really?
Right.
Weird. Okay.
So they probably put no effort into that. And from what I could tell, I couldn't transfer my save game over there, and I was like, well, maybe later. I really like
weird package.
Yeah. I really like For the Best, but I don't. Everything about it's weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess on the positive end, I think the 2-pack is like only $70 or $80 or something. I mean, only.
Right. Well, it's cheaper than buying the 2.
It's not
separately.
$120 is the point.
Right. And I mean, all that music is still so good that.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're just in it for the music, that stuff's great.
Yeah. Of course, you can be a bitter old man who remembers Atlas giving me a soundtrack with every game they sent me, and there's not one on here.
Right, for the music game. Like,
yeah. I need to... Like, when it first came out, I was checking the iTunes store. I'm like, when is this thing going to release? I know they're going to release the soundtrack of these remixes.
Right.
So, hopefully it's out by now. But, like, mostly I'm having fun with the game, but, like even still, like, here's another bitter note I made, is, I know dogs can't dance.
Right.
But they literally have a social link about how Koromaru is not in the game. And I'm still upset that Koromaru isn't in the game.
That seems a little
not
bit.
in it at all?
No. Well, okay. I can't definitively state that because I have not seen everyone's social links.
They couldn't even have him dance around with Ken. Like they like just shoehorn him in there.
Right.
Yeah, that's
you
my
could have
feeling.
done that.
Yeah.
Could have.
That's what they did with the fighting game. They shoehorned Koromaru in with Ken, so that way you had
true.
like.
Ken was the one.
Be quiet! Oh my god! I don't know if you can hear that.
I can't, but I think it'll come on the recording. That's going to be really good.
It's really loud.
Yeah. But Ken is the one complaining about him not being there, too, so...
Oh, well, that makes sense, then.
Yeah. The intro, like, to the game, by the way, like, the writing, I also feel like it's pretty so-so. But once you get kind of past the cringe dialogue at the beginning, I feel like it gets a lot better.
Yeah.
But, like... Seeing those Persona 3 characters and, like, those high-res models is freaking awesome. And now I just want, like, a complete remake. I know it'll never happen. I want a complete remake of Persona 3.
Yeah.
Like, with these assets now.
If only. So many people missed it, because Persona 4 was really where it took off here, but Persona 3 is so good.
Well, and, like, I was listening to, I think it was Kat Bailey's podcast, Axe of the Blood God, that's what it's called.
Oh, right.
And they were talking, and they're like, yeah, we don't even... Like, which version of Persona 3 do you recommend? Do you recommend FES, or do you recommend P3P? Like, they don't have a definitive, here's Persona 3 with all the stuff in it.
It's so strange, because I prefer the portable version, because...
Yeah, me too.
It's just, everything's better on it to me. You miss out on all those nice cutscenes and stuff that, like, they have in the... FES version, but in the P3P version, you miss out on like all the walking around. But I'm okay with missing out on the walking around and all those cutscenes because it's kind of like, well, I fast travel. It's really
and
nice.
you get to play as a lady, which changes the story in some really cool ways.
Yeah. Junpei's still a creeper in the dancing game, by the way.
Yep.
Is he?
That checks out. Staying on brand.
I don't think they have the female protagonist in it at all either.
No.
That would be a bummer. Hopefully she shows up at some point, even if it's like free DLC.
Well, you know that she's coming back as kind of like the main protagonisty thing in the PQ2.
Oh yeah. That's where I kept thinking like, man, I keep seeing her places, but it's Persona Q2, I think is what they're calling it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to worry we're not going to get Persona Q2. Like,
I bet we will.
Part of me thinks like that is the reason. I guess we can talk about it later. But part of me thinks that like Persona Q2 is the reason that Nintendo's putting Joker into Smash.
Oh right.
Like, as much as I would love Persona 5 on the Switch, but I don't know. We already know anyway, I'm sure that's in the news.
It isn't, but I totally forgot Joker's coming to Switch because it sort of blew my mind.
Well, did you get the P5R thing in there? I don't know.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I have that.
It blew my mind, too. That was actually what kind of pushed me to asking for Smash for Christmas.
Yeah, get that Joker eventually.
I was like, I need to brush up on some Smash skills so that way when Joker's in the game, I can main that.
Yeah.
I kind of want it. Like, I've heard the single player content isn't that bad, which is
it's
where I would
decent.
primarily be.
Right.
But anyway, moving on. My friend Justin from the Tiltcast bought me a game called Pit People for Christmas.
I saw you playing that today.
This is by the Castle Crashers team. They are called the Behemoth. This is a absolutely crazy mad, like, tactics-ish, RPG-ish game. Like, you have a team of 6 characters. And you recruit characters by whatever the last enemy on the map is. If you have a character with a cage, you just walk them up to it and they capture that enemy. Bosses included.
Nice.
But it takes place on a hexagonal tactics map. And it is absolute madness. So the basis for the story of the game is a giant space bear crashes into Earth.
Okay.
And this bear in some cutscenes appears to be larger than Earth, or maybe it's just the size of a state. It's really not clear.
Okay.
The bear also appears to be the narrator who hates you and is constantly talking about how boring and uninteresting you are.
Okay.
How your character should die. The music for the game is like this crazy, like, electro swing meets like you would expect from like a Mario game type music. Like, it's very like upbeat and wacky, and everything in it is just absolute madness. All the characters kind of speak gibberish for voice acting, or gibberish. I always say that wrong. But it's a lot of fun. Like, so one of the quests I got was deliver this letter to this colonel or general, or I can't remember what his name was, somewhere. Actually, you know what? I bet his name was Journal Custard, and I'm pretty sure he was like a cupcake.
That's really good.
I'm pretty sure that was it. But anyway, so I got there, and I was originally wanting to try and capture him, right? But he had this like weird unicorn horse thing off in the corner that would shoot, like it had like a rainbow mane, and it would shoot horns near you that would stick in the ground and then blow up in an AoE damage thing.
Jeez.
So I accidentally killed him too soon, and it gave me the option to stay on the battlefield. So I went and got that thing, which has been pretty odd. It's the highest level thing I have, but it is an artillery unicorn. So
that's my jam.
It's just a super weird game. Like all of the characters and enemies are kind of bullet sponges, which is really my main gripe against the game. Like, because you have to like so much damage either has to be inflicted to you or the enemy to kind of end the round. So like you're gonna be in that battle for a good 15 minutes, you know.
Oh wow, okay.
Like, it's not gonna be a short thing, but like with the real upbeat electro swing music and the crazy characters and whatnot, like it aids to it. But I'm not super far into it. They seem to be doing like a lot of daily quests and challenges, and the world seems to be semi-procedural in that you'll play on a world map for a while, and then the space bearer will be like, oh yeah, I'm going to put you over here now, and then it'll be like a completely different map.
Oh, cool.
So, like, I mean, a lot of it's absolutely, like, gosh, I don't even know if I should... Okay, so one story part is you're going for revenge against these particular characters. And you arrive at their castle, and you beat them, and you get in, and then they retreat into a spaceship. And then you jump on the wing of a spaceship. And then, for some reason, your guys are flying on the wing of a spaceship, fighting these guys inside a spaceship.
That's really good.
It's ridiculous. It is absurd. It's if nothing else, it'll put a smile on your face, even if the battles take a little bit too long. But
yeah,
I look forward into digging into it more. But that's probably about all I got to say about it at the moment. I played a ton of Into the Breach.
I came this close to buying it.
You should.
It's really good. And, like, arguably, you know, maybe this isn't the best podcast to talk about it, but our guys do go up levels, and they do interact on a tactics grid, so that's
true.
my in.
It was on my top 10 for 2018, so I'll allow it.
Okay. So I originally had it on PC and played it a few times, but then I bought it on Switch, which was just like the perfect platform.
It's so good on Switch. I didn't understand how they were going to do it, because on PC it's only mouse, and I think there are keyboard shortcuts. And I was like, oh, using the D-pad on Switch, I don't know how that's going to work, but man, it feels really good.
Yeah, it's just been perfect. I mean, I watched through the last season of Ultron while playing through that, and I just beat it a ton of times on... I'm still on easy mode. I've unlocked probably half the teams, and I've tried a couple rando teams, which I thought was which was kind of a cool feature because it got me out of my safety zone with it. But
yeah,
I really, really like that game. Although the character I have unlocked in pilot, like I don't know that I'm going to pick anyone else. I don't remember her name, but she starts with a shield.
Oh yeah,
and I just always keep her in the brawler, like, because she has such good bonuses. And, like, she died one mission, and I was so horrified that, like, I lost and then started over and then got to the very end, and then she died again.
It was just her time, Mason.
I just can't keep a leveled up version of her, yeah.
Yeah, Into the Breach is crazy good. I talked about it a lot during Top 10, but I think the biggest thing is, for me, it's you know, it's sort of the polar opposite of what a lot of strategy RPGs do, where you're moving your units and you're sort of trying to predict what the enemies are going to do, but Into the Breach tells you exactly what the enemies are, where they're going to move, where they're going to attack, what they're going to do, and in what order. And it's your job to sort of take this strategy RPG and turn it into a puzzle to try and protect. Unlike a lot of games where you'd protect your units, you're protecting the buildings on the map. So sometimes you're going to go through and, you know, sacrifice one of your units to protect one of your buildings. And getting that puzzle down is just... It always feels really great when you, like, finish a map in 2 moves and nobody's damaged and none of the buildings get hurt. And you're sitting there thinking, like, yeah, I'm the best at puzzles. I'm the best at Into the Breach.
You feel real good on that game. Like, I was surprised about how much I wanted to continue playing it after I won all 4 islands and, you know, beat the last stage. So,
yeah, it's great. Everyone should play it.
Yeah. And lastly, I just had a quick Final Fantasy Brave Exvius story.
Oh boy.
So I feel like I've been playing this for a long time, right? And I've never been able to beat... Like, they have a mechanic in the game, for those that don't play, where one week you'll have a raid boss, and the next week they'll have, like, an extra hard version of that raid boss.
Right.
and I've never beaten one of those battles. And I'm at a point where, like, I feel like I should. Like, I have a lot of 7-star characters. I feel like I have some decent equipment. And this Kingdom Hearts boss they have was just murdering me. And I got on the Reddit, and the majority of the Reddit comments were just people talking about how easy that boss was.
Oh, no.
As it always goes, where it's like, oh, I beat this boss in one turn, and I did
no.
3 million
Like,
damage per hit. And I was just like, oh, that's not
This
me.
guy was such a pushover that, like, I didn't get the limit burst thing because I didn't realize. So then I had to go play it again to get the limit burst quest tick mark. And that was literally something, someone almost said verbatim. So I wrote a whine on there. I was like, kind of said the same thing I just said here. Of, man, I feel like I'm just terrible at this game, blah, blah, blah. And this one guy was like, well, what's your team?
Right.
And I told him kind of loose idea of my team, and then he's like, well, who are your support characters? And so I listed out like a handful of the ones for my inventory. I have over 500 characters. You can't.
Yeah.
It's a hard game to give advice for on that end. And like, he literally told me exactly what to equip all these characters with, what characters to take, and how to use them per round. And I didn't.
Oh, nice.
I didn't have all the equipment he listed, but it was enough for me to kind of see the logic he was using and go through and apply it. And I beat the boss from it.
Hey,
because
nice.
This guy took me several hours to go through and track this equipment down and figure out who I owned and didn't. But it was just a really cool experience. I'm not used to people in comment sections, which is what Reddit is a giant comment section.
Right.
Being cool about it. So it was just surprising. So
a rare good interaction on the internet.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like my understanding of the game leveled up, and like a lot of the items he listed are things that I can go find in game, either from the story or from like those whatever battles, like fighting the moon.
Oh yeah, the Nemesis or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some fat chocobo stuff, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, one of them literally was an item from a fat chocobo in a town in the main story of the game.
Yeah.
And I have not put...
There's also some black keys that unlock some equipment that's really useful.
Yeah, yeah. There's so much in that game. Man.
Seeing key-wise, like, I think I have all of the first... whatever that first shrine's key, Earth Shrine, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, like, I've only unlocked the second vault, so I haven't...
Yeah.
I barely have any of that stuff.
There was like a day where I was just like, okay, I'm calling this the key day, where I'm just gonna go around and like follow like I had the guide of like, where do you obtain all these keys, and I literally
all the maps.
I was like, I'm gonna get all these keys, and I got all the way up to Black Key, and then I was like, okay, key day is done.
Yeah, I think I did the same thing. I got up to, I think, that set of keys, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty burnt out on doing this.
Gotcha. Well,
Man.
Anyway, that's still a really good game. I'm sure we've all still been playing it. I just thought that was a good story to share, so...
Yeah.
That is all I've been playing.
All right, Mina, what about you?
So the first game we're going to talk about is one that I played a couple weeks back. It's called Kingdom Come. All right.
Mm.
And
Controversial.
It is like a... How do I describe this? It's very much like... I would say if somebody was into like the Skyrim sort of games or whatever, like that sort of action adventure, they might enjoy like Kingdom Come. And it is...
This is Kingdom Come Deliverance, right?
Yes, that's what it is. Deliverance. Sorry, let me make sure. Yeah, Deliverance, right. So, this game does not pull its punches at all, and it I feel like it's definitely a game that if you're going to like, you're going to be well invested into it. So you start as like just some dude. Mm-hmm. Like, unlike a lot of games where you're actually someone, you're like a son of a blacksmith or whatever, and you're kind of a bit of a not actively, working towards that goal or whatever. You want
You're
to
just literally a regular dude.
You're just like a dude.
Yeah.
And you do a bunch of like piddly quests, and I don't feel like this is going to be a big spoiler because honestly, this all happens within like the first 2-3 hours of gameplay. So, and this game seems like it's one of those you may spend like 400 hours in this game. So I don't feel like this is a big spoiler. So within like the first 2-3 hours of the game, you've done like a bunch of little tiny side quests. You slung some dung on some dude's nice house. Because and apparently all of the stuff that happens in this game is like pretty like it follows like a historical events and stuff. So I guess it's like the lore is real world events that had happened. Anyways, so yeah, this I don't even know what to describe them. Your town gets burned to the ground basically. And like people get killed. You watch your dad get like a sword to his back with your mom basically trying to like protect him, and she gets slayed too. And like you get on a horse and you gallop to the next town over, and you're just. And oh my gosh, what like you're bad at everything. You can't sword fight. You can't like your character is like the easiest to like just kill. And like I stopped. I streamed this game, but like when I got off the stream, I started doing stuff, and I gotta tell you, like it's like your sword skill is so terrible that like when people hit you with the sword, you like kind of like it's like you're gonna drop it or something. Like you can't hold up. So, from what I was told, in horse riding, oh my gosh, it's like my dude does not know how to ride a horse, which is
he doesn't know how to do anything.
He doesn't know how to do anything. That's a good way to put it. Like, you have stats, and you just start at, like, 0 on everything, and you're just bad at everything. Like, you are a true, like, peasant.
Jeez.
Like, you have nothing going for you at all, and you kind of don't even, like, when you talk to people, you kind of just... kind of not intelligent. You're kind of just like a peasant. You're just a peasant. I don't know how to put it. But yeah, the story seems pretty good. I was kind of impressed with how well the faces look because it's not the Uncanny Valley. It's like this is like as good as you can make it before you start tripping into the uncanny.
Right.
So it looks really nice. I could tell that, like, the developer behind this game really put, like, a lot of effort towards it, but I think that if you're the type of person who is just immediately put off by, like, all the work you have to do to basically become something in this game, you're probably going to hate it because, like I said, you are just a dude and you suck at everything, and the game just, it does not pull any punches. So what I was told from, like, some people who watch my stream, they're like, you really need to make sure, you practice sword fighting. They're like, this is like, you actually have to do stuff to get better at it. Like, you're not just going to level up and skill up, like, just everything and you're suddenly better at everything. No, you have to actually hit the sword fighting and, like, practice with the teacher and just, and it's actually something you got to work towards. So, yeah, that's the game I played a little bit of. I did some of it on stream, and then I played some off stream. It's very interesting. I think, like, I do think, though, that if you're, like, interested in playing, like, a really deep Skyrim-y sort of game where you're just, like, I'm gonna pour 400, 600 hours into a game, give Kingdom Come Deliverance a try, because it seems like a really good game for people who like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, I have a few questions, because I've actually been really curious about this game.
Well, go for it.
So in like a lot of the trailers, the combat looks kind of horrific to me. like it looks like it would not be fun to play in that aspect.
It's almost like it's like a rock, paper, scissors sort of sword fighting, like, kind of thing, but it's also kind of like you have to manage your stamina, you have to manage, like, you actually, it's like it's almost like real sword fighting in a sense, where you have like, you're not just swinging the weapon, you're not just pressing A and it's like, oh, swing, swing, swing. It's more like swing, 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 block, block, you gotta kind of like move around. I'm told that like with skill ups into like, sword fighting, you get like better and stronger, and like you have like, parries and, blocks that are like really good, and you could just like, there's way more abilities to like mow down your foes or whatever. But when you're just like a peasant, and like I imagine most reviews of this game, they probably did not spend the amount of time some people were telling me that you need to spend towards this. Like because it looks pretty bad from like initial playing, but I've been told, because I haven't reached this point yet, that you get really, really strong later on, and you become basically like a real hero by the end of the game, where you're just capable of doing all sorts of fancy footwork and fighting. So yeah, I would say like it feels kind of like a rock paper scissors sort of thing, because when you swing your weapon, you also have to choose a direction you're swinging, and like that took me a minute to like completely understand how to do that, because like it's not just like a one directional swing, it's like it's a circular directional swing.
And then I guess my second question is like I'm really kind of a fantastical elements in video games guy. Is it just being set during the Middle Ages or whenever it was? I can't remember what country it was for, like Denmark or something. Not Denmark, but anyway,
I would have to look it up. It's like apparently like this is actually like you actually meet the historical figures, and it's like. It seems, from what I heard, it tries to mirror and completely follow the events of like the real world history around that time when these battles and whatever were fought.
Yeah,
I imagine with sprinklings of fantasy.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, that was the big pitch for the game. I remember that. But like, is it like what? Like, it's not like a Call of Duty World War II thing or something like that, right? Like there's like, does it not having dragons in it like take away from its entertaining value? I guess is what I'm getting at.
Right.
So I haven't had anything fantastical or magical, but what I will say is that like it had some really good emotional beats. I know I kind of just threw away that whole like your father and your mother dying thing, and oh my gosh, there was while I was trying to run away, as people are trying to shoot me and they're shooting me in the leg, and you could easily die. Apparently, from what someone told me, like they were like on that escape when you're trying to run away, and like you've got like soldiers chasing you and people shooting arrows at you. Like someone told me, they were like, yeah, I died about 12 times trying to escape. You got really lucky in how you escaped. Because I think I died once or twice. I died once or twice, and then the third time I managed to escape, and someone was like, you got really lucky. Like, they're like, a lot of people get stuck here because you have nothing going for you. You can't, your horse does not want you to like control it, because your dude doesn't have any skills in horseback riding. So you're trying to ride a horse and escape with trained soldiers chasing you down and shooting arrows. And so, like, I guess in the real world, the likelihood this guy would have escaped is pretty low. So, I would say that, like, yeah, it's missing like the fantastical elements of like a dragon or, mages or whatever, but it does a really good job of like making this world feel pretty interesting, and there's some crazy stuff that happens. Like as I was escaping, there was a woman who was that you had met that was basically being assaulted by soldiers, and like as I'm running to escape, I took the time to just like whistle for these guys' attention and just kind of be like, yo, chase me, like stop what you're doing to that woman or whatever, I kind of like got their attention. They chased me on top of everybody else who was chasing me, and that felt really rewarding when I met her later on. Spoilers, you meet her later on, and she remembers the kind act that you did to basically save her, And I mean, there's a lot of like things that happen like that just feel pretty good and resonant. And then like I don't know, like it's definitely a game that like I think a Skyrim player would like if they liked like the deep dive in there. There's a lot of I feel like there's a lot of meat in this game. So yeah. But Kingdom Come Deliverance, pretty good. I actually didn't know about the controversy with it, or if people did or didn't like it. I went in blind.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he was the head dev or just the head of the company that did it, but he kind of always seems to stick his foot in his mouth on Twitter and things like that. So.
Oh no!
There's a lot of stuff around that game that was not okay.
Oh no! I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
No, I just got the game because my friend gave it to me.
I don't think it's anything that directly
he's not
affects
the only
the
one
game.
that has made the game.
That's true.
Like, I've recently come to the life, and you guys don't have to agree with this life stance. I've recently come to the life stance that no matter where your money goes, it is going to someone that is a horrible, evil person. So
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Except for this show. Patreon.com/YouWin1.
Well, I definitely did not know about the controversy. I just, when I played the game, I felt really good about what was going on in it. And while I could see somebody just seeing some of the aspects of the game of being, like, basically this peasant who can't do anything is being kind of like, wow, I don't want to play that. If you're the type of person who likes the idea of starting from, like, the bottom and then just, like, working your way up to being, like, this great hero and amazing at everything or whatever, maybe this game is right up your alley. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then the other game that I played, and I haven't uploaded the latest video of, Kingdom Hearts. I am getting very close to the ending, supposedly. I'm doing like a bunch of boss. I feel like it's a boss rush right now where I'm at, because I've just been like the Kingdom Heart game, like from like where you start in the game, where it's just kind of like you have a boss and then maybe some mid boss or something, and then there's just like a lot of stuff. regular stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it was like this place I'm in, Hollow Bastion. It just feels like I've reached a point where it's like boss, and then like a short walk, boss, short walk, boss, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa now. Like I'm overwhelmed by the boss rush here all of a sudden. Like, I'm not prepared for this level of skill that it's asking for me. Like, I'm playing on proud mode. I think I mentioned this before. So the last boss I fought really, really was impossible. It kicked my butt so badly. And then someone asked me, I think it was Ricky on Twitter, he asked me if I used Tinkerbell at all. And I was like, no. And he's like, you might want to do that. And I was like, I will the next time I play. So, I think I'm getting very close to beating Kingdom Hearts.
Hollow Bastion is very close to the end, yeah.
Okay. I've already beaten three bosses in Hollow Bastion. I don't know how many more there are, but it feels like there's... I feel like I've got at least one more in this place.
If I remember correctly, the beginning of that, or the ending of that game is very much like that, and then you fight someone that feels very much like the last boss, but I don't remember where that all ends, and I certainly don't want to spoil it for you.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna look it up.
So I'm almost done with that game, and I put a post on Twitter asking, like, do you guys want me to play Chain of Memories, or do you want me to just go to Kingdom Hearts 2? And I was like, I'll leave it up to a
Chain
poll.
of Memories, yeah.
And of course it went 50-50, and so
of course.
I was like, okay, you guys didn't help, but someone was telling me basically, for Chain of Memories, they were like, maybe play one world of Chain of Memories, and then watch some videos, and then watch the cutscenes on YouTube or whatever, and then just jump into Kingdom Hearts 2.
That'd be such a bummer. So the thing I love about Chain of Memories is it's so different, because it's a card battling game. It's so different from Kingdom Hearts, and the part I like about Chain of Memories is the intro cutscene of Chain of Memories is the ending cutscene of 1, and Kingdom Hearts 2 picks up literally seconds after the ending cutscene of Chain of Memories. So, like, it directly leads from 1 to 2.
That's awesome.
You'll pick up the beginning of 2 just fine after, the intro is a couple hours, but if you play Chain of Memories first, the intro is a lot better because you're like, oh, right, that person. Okay, cool, that person's here too. Yeah, I know who those are.
So... but I do want to play, like, I'm trying to, like, move through this series as fast as I can so that I can get to Kingdom Hearts 3. There's no way I can beat Kingdom Hearts 2, all those games that come after Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3 in a reasonable amount of time. So, Chain of Memories is the one that a lot of people say is skippable only because all of the story is in the cutscenes and it's not in the actual game. Like, you're not talking to NPCs really and getting story.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's not like Birth by Sleep where you're getting so much story in between all this other stuff.
So that's the one that I'm hopefully going to have that done by the next time we talk. I should be in Kingdom Hearts 2, hopefully.
Yeah.
The next game I played is, and this is my opinion, my favorite Final Fantasy of all the Final Fantasies.
Okay.
You can fight me! Final Fantasy X-2. I decided to go play that because I have so much fun when I play X-2. So whenever I'm sick or I just don't feel like doing a lot of other things, if I feel like playing a Final Fantasy game, it's X-2. It's my favorite combat
because it's so good.
system. It's so good. It's so good. I had this debate with someone who just told me that they were like, X-2's terrible because the story and it's awful. And I was like, no.
All right, back up.
Back up. I'm like, you don't hate X-2's story. What you hate is how campy the game is.
Right.
Which is what most people hate, is how campy. And
that's why I love it.
It's great.
Yep.
You just eat up the camp. But the story isn't bad. Like, I had always heard that X-2's story was bad until I actually played and beat the whole thing. And I was like, the story wasn't bad at all. The story was fine.
It's just fun. I'm sorry that a Final Fantasy game came out that wasn't super sad and depressing. You bums.
It's so funny. I love it. So, yes, I played X-2, having a great time. I've been doing some creature creator or whatever it is. That thing's fun too. It's just like there's so much content in that, and it's got my favorite battle system of all Final Fantasies, and I will fight that. That's
it's
the
real
best.
Good.
That's the best. So I love X-2. It's the one that I claim is my favorite, followed probably by 6.
Yeah, X-2 is just really great.
Yep.
Yep, I agree.
So the next game I played, and I played a little bit of it, and I don't know if you've played much of it, Yusem, but I played Divinity Original Sin 2.
I've really only played maybe the first, 5 hours of that game at most.
Okay.
I've gotten past the intro and to the island and through, some of the camp. But I've always meant to go back because I really love that game, but...
It's so big.
I know, that's the intimidating part, is I think about how much time I have to sink into it.
Yeah.
I think about, who can I get to play with me? Should I get someone to play with me, or is that just going to ruin my experience?
I mean, I wouldn't mind playing with you, but I have a character that I want to play as. So when you play Divinity Original Sin 2, you can make your original character, or you can play as one of the origin characters. Play as the origin character.
Are they pre-made, basically?
They're pre-made, but they have a background story, and they have things you can't change, but there are things you can change about them. But you can't change every aspect about them, but it's still, I would say, do it, because you actually have a backstory then, and it characters will interact with you more. So I think origin characters are kind of fun. Your own original characters are fun to make, so that way you can make one from the ground up. But I think if you're trying to play through it the first time, I think maybe playing as one of their pre-made origin characters is better. I picked the Lady Lose, and her backstory is that she apparently is just basically kind of like a walking, talking human vessel that spirits and fairies or whatever, like these magical beings will sometimes, basically possess her and like, like it's an okay relationship usually because she lets the spirits live within her and, whatever, and they come and go and, maybe they have conversations in her head, who knows? But she's okay with it, except now she's like, all of those spirits have been gone and there's only one spirit inside her right now, and it's not a happy spirit, it's a very angry evil spirit that's basically trying to take over her entire body and basically like, do evil things. Who knows? But she doesn't like it and she wants to get rid of it. So, yeah, so I picked that character, and then like as Musum said, you start on basically like this tutorial boat thing, and in typical RPG fashion, I basically picked up everything that wasn't nailed to the ground.
Yep.
I searched every corner of that place, talked to every NPC, exhausted dialogues, just everything.
Spent 30 hours on tutorial boat.
I was, there's probably at least 10 hours on tutorial boat, and that's pretty amazing that I could spend that long on tutorial boat. So once they get to once you get to the part where you have to leave tutorial boat, I know we're calling it that, but basically as I'm leaving, there's your first battle. I don't know if you could have battles before that moment, but the first like required battle that you had to get through, I died, and and then I reloaded a save, and then I died again, and then I was like, okay, all right. What am I doing wrong here? Because I'm still kind of on tutorial mode. This is like your introductory battle. So I was just kind of like, oh, what am I doing wrong? So I ended up kind of, and I hate doing this, I opened up a guide. Immediately. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Because clearly, like, I don't think I should have this much problems. And like, the guide was kind of like, go and grab that the spell off of this dead corpse over here, and then like it kind of led me to what I was going to do. Anyways, you go through the rest of the ship, you go back down into the ship because you have to save everyone, and everyone down there seems way more stronger than me. I will say that. All the NPC, all the AI, maybe the AI is just more intelligent than me, but they were just like running around just killing things. And I was like damn, I couldn't even kill, like, one of these dudes by myself without a guide, but these NPCs are just running around killing dudes. So, then you get off tutorial boat, and then you're on, I guess, the island that you're now, this is the most crazy thing ever to talk about this island, because I don't know how to describe what happened, because, like, you're kind of a prisoner, but you're kind of not, but you kind of are. So, the whole
RPGs.
Yeah, so, like, here's the thing, like, when you think of, like, a prisoner, you think of somebody who's, like, probably, like, got handcuffs on, or, like, chained somewhere, or behind some sort of bars, but on this island, you are a prisoner because you cannot leave this island, and you have, like, a collar on that prevents you from using the source, so It's kind of like you're a prisoner on an island that you're allowed to just basically roam on this island. Nobody's stopping me from doing anything. Nobody gets mad whenever I do something like kill someone on this island. Like it's like well, what is the like there's no like rules laid out other than don't use source.
Right.
Which you can't use because we got that collar on you. So like that's the whole prisoner aspect of it. So yeah, the crazy thing, the girl I'm playing as, so, like, someone gives me, like, a loot or whatever, and so I get into this battle, at some point, and I play the loot because it's supposed to give, like, a battle buff, and then, like, my character, like, that creepy voice that keeps talking to my character is just like, destroy the loot, and my character breaks the loot, like, she's on, like, stage and taking a guitar and just slams it, and just breaks it into pieces, and she's just like, oh no. So then I picked up the loot, and then travel around more, go talk to another character. I go talk to another character, and this person's just like, do you know about that evil spirit inside you? And my character's like, yeah, I know about that evil spirit, but I've got it under control. And then, like, the spirit's like, kill the elf. And I was like, no, don't kill the elf. So I made, like, a stat check or whatever, and it was like, and she was like, oh, you're really good at controlling it, but still, that dark spirit, I need to tell you the name of the dark spirit, and it's like, kill the elf. And my character was like, stat, another stat check I passed, but this time it was like, no, I control you, and then I start trying to kill the elf, and then everybody in this area sees me trying to kill this elf, and they're all like, oh, hell no. So then, like, everybody in this area comes to kill me and my team, and they're like, we have to, knock out my character's unconscious or whatever, so, like, the enemies are all attacking me, and like everybody starts getting like negative affinity. Like affinity is like the how characters perceive you or whatever, and whether they'll talk to you or basically give you quests and stuff. Everybody's getting negative affinity everywhere, and I was just like, this was a mess. This
everything went wrong.
This is categorized as a mess. So I reloaded a save, and I was like, all right. Not going to talk to that elf.
Right, I'm going to spare that elf's life.
I'm just going to, not talk to her, and then everything will be fine. That's another thing is, like, characters are like, getting angry at all the characters in my party. Like, they're just like, oh, you're party with that person, I hate you, and, like, oh, so...
So maybe pick one of the pre-made characters, but maybe not that one.
Well, it's like all the characters have like somebody negative, but like the character that I picked, the Lose girl or whatever, she's got a lot of messed up stuff, and I like it. I like how crazy she is, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not going to go talk to that elf, at least not with her, because you can kind of separate your party. So I had her stand outside, far away from the
go
elf.
to the other side of town.
Yeah. So then I had like the other people in my party go and talk to that elf, and they had a good time, and then, my character regrouped, and I was like, hey, yeah, let's not go over there.
Yeah.
This is my character, so
I'm pretty sure I chose that same lady. Like, her intro was just too freaking cool
It's
looking.
too cool. She's the best, by far. All the other ones are cool.
All the pre-made characters, like, when you're scrolling through them in the menu, they'll have, like, some weird little, like, pseudo-cinematic thing that they do.
And they also tell, like, a little background story. They give you, like, and, like, I watched them all, and I was like, I'm going back to that lady who has, like, spirits inhabiting her, and that evil spirit that's, like, just But, yeah, that evil spirit thing is just, like, it is making the gameplay a little interesting, because he's messing. I keep saying the spirit's but we don't know whether the spirit is like a mage that is like doing this, or some actual spirit or whatever. Like, who knows? It's bad.
Yeah.
Divinity Original Sin 2, a lot of fun. Got it on the winter sale, so that's that. And the last game that I played, that Boston probably played, was Dragon Quest XI.
It's the only RPG I played this month, but I played a lot of it.
So, I've finished Act 2. I am through a lot of Act 3's side quests. I feel like Act 3 is probably got a lot of stuff to do, but I feel like the main story beat, like, if I were to just say, like, screw doing all these side quests, let me just do main story, I feel like the main story would not be that long, because it seems like they're like, okay, let's go prepare for the final battle by going to do some training, and then we're going to the final battle. I think that's how this is going.
It feels a lot like Mass Effect 2's loyalty missions, where it's like you can go do the ending at any time. Like, Act 3 is very much, here's a big story beat that I won't spoil because it's really good, and then it's very much like, that's the bad guy, let's go get him, or prepare and then go get him. And you can do some really cool side stuff. I'm most of the way through the side stuff for all the characters, and a lot of them are really worthwhile, because there was one where I did Sylvando and Henrik's story.
Yeah,
and
so then you unlock the more of their tree or whatever.
yeah, each one of them gets 2 additional skill trees. And it's just like, oh, well, okay, that turns... Yeah. Sylvando is fine, but Henrik now is an impenetrable tank. It's
Henrik
like, okay,
is
cool.
An amazing character now because of that.
And it's really crazy because I feel like in most of these missions, or most of these... types of quests in a lot of JRPGs, you'd go and they'd be like, well, here's a really good sword for that character. And it's like, no, man, I'm going to double your skill trees. And it's like, oh, okay, well, now you don't want to miss out on some of this stuff, especially for your core characters, because not only are you getting... I talked about this on TVGP a little bit, where I feel like when you finish Act 2, you get a lot of resolution to the characters' stories. But then when you go to Act 3 and you really finish that stuff, it's like, okay, cool. That you got some resolution in Act 2, but Act 3 is where the whole thing really comes together for a lot of these characters.
I would say, like, I loved the story in Act 1 and Act 2 by far, but Act 3 is kind of, like, trying to get, like, the happiest, most perfect ending, like, possible. Whereas, like, I felt pretty good about everything that happened story-wise in Act 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Like, if the game had ended right there, I'd still have felt, like, pretty good at Act 2.
Yeah. Yeah, Act 2's ending is really good. Like, that's the normal end for a lot of RPGs, where it's like, all right, you beat the bad guy, you got the star on your save file, let's do New Game Plus. But then Act 3 comes. And it's just like, okay, now we're going to have more good story. Okay.
And I assume, based on how everything is, I think any of the side quests that you didn't do in Act 1 and 2, I think they're all opened up in Act 3. So.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because
based on talking to a couple of NPCs and the way their dialogue progressed, I was like, you definitely are Act 1's quest completion response right there.
Right. Yeah. Like, all you're gonna do is give me like 1 gold ore. Okay, I missed you in Act 1 at some point. Yeah, but it's really, I think for me, it's pleasantly surprising that with every act, the game, especially storytelling-wise, gets better and better. And I would have been happy with just Act 1. I'd be like, yeah, that's a standard JRPG. Collect the stuff, beat the bad guy. All right, everything's good. But how they build on that and how they build on JRPG storytelling expectations, and then how they build upon the story of Dragon Quest III in really interesting ways, which unfortunately is a game I haven't yet played. But how they mirror a lot of that stuff is really cool.
It's a really good game. I would say I don't do a top 10 because I play a lot of older games that aren't from this year, so it'd be a really weird top 10 to be like top 10 of things I played. I only played 12 games this year, so don't make it. But if I had a top 10, I'd like to think that Dragon Quest XI would have sealed like top 1 spot probably for me. I really don't think that any other game would have come close this year in RPGs for me, because I just felt all the emotions while playing this game. I felt happiness. I felt so many sad points. I cried so many times throughout this game. There's probably a crying compilation we could make out of my streams.
Mina's crying Quest 11.
Right. I mean, there were times I was angry. There was times like I went through every emotion, and I had the best time with 11, and I think
it made my top 10 for 2018. It wasn't top spot, but it's just so, it's a solid game.
It's really good.
Except for music, in every other aspect, it's really great. That's the only part
I would knock points off. We need a different. Just get a different composer.
Get a different dude in there. Get a young, hungry composer in there.
You know, there's so much talent out there that's untapped.
And I think a large part of why I enjoyed it so much, and why Ni no Kuni 2 was lower in my top 10 list this year, is every single voice actor in Dragon Quest XI is so good.
Oh, I can't disagree with that at all because I love the voice acting.
Especially Sylvando, character of 2018.
The only thing I really hated, and this is only something that a Let's Player would hate, is like how slow every villain has to talk.
Yes.
Every villain has to drag out his
or they have some like super affected voice where they're like some sort of lion demon. It's like I don't even understand what you're talking. Like, thank goodness we have the text boxes because I don't. It's all just like rare darkness. Just like I didn't get any of that.
Oh, it's hilarious. Yes.
Yeah. Man, but yeah, Dragon Quest XI. I have said this time and time again. I will repeat it again. If you're looking for, especially a first Dragon Quest game or a first JRPG, Dragon Quest XI is really good. But keep in mind, it is 100 hours. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
It's you might be able to get into it if you sort of mainline through it in like 80 hours.
It's really good though. Like like I feel like anybody who's been looking at Dragon Quest but going like, there's a lot of Dragon Quests.
Yeah.
Jump into 11.
Yeah, Dragon Quest XI is really great.
And that is all the RPGs I've been playing.
That's all I've been playing for this month too. So let's we don't have a ton of what was that? Sorry?
No, go ahead.
Oh, we don't have a ton of releases and news stories this month either, especially since it's January. It's quiet. So let's just knock those out real quick. Coming out for January 2019, Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story comes out on 3DS. I just realized I forgot to write down dates, so keep an eye out for when these come out. The other two are games that I'm very much looking forward to for entirely different reasons. First one is Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, comes out on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. I could not be more excited.
Next Friday. That one I have memorized because I have it on pre-order. So
there you go.
Excited to see what you're excited about.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful. The only thing that I hope for people that are excited for this, because it's something that I've been excited for since I played it. God, whenever it came out, I don't want to think about it. The only thing I really hope for is that it just runs well on every platform. Because if they can keep it, at the very least, looking good in a solid 30, solid 60 would be great. But I really hope that it runs well on every platform. I have no idea how it runs or any of that stuff because I haven't really seen. But I guess I'll find out on Friday. And last but certainly not least, Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out on PS4 and Xbox One, probably. I know this one's like the 28th or the 29th. And I am super pumped to see whatever that is.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to play it eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of the year at the rate I'm going through the Kingdom Hearts series.
Yeah, you at least have to finish 2 first.
I look forward to hearing other people play it.
Yeah, I don't. That Kingdom Hearts hasn't really been your series, right, Musum?
Yeah, no. I own the first 2 for PS2, and I barely played the first one. I'm pretty sure I played that first island like at least 4 times.
Oh no!
To sit down, I'm like, okay, it's time to go.
I'm
going to
do it this time.
Series. And then, and now that I'm here, and they're like all the mobile games, and I'd want to get those stories too. That ship sailed for me. So
yeah, I've played almost all of them. I haven't played Dream Drop Distance, and I never finished Birth by Sleep, which I believe is the most recent one. But I am really excited to hop in. I have not read anything about this, but I'm really excited to hop into it and see how stupid and crazy the Organization 13 story stuff is going to get. Because, man, it gets real dumb and real crazy.
What is that?
Oh, man, Mina. You haven't even started to pull off the Kingdom Hearts Band-Aid.
Oh, no.
The Kingdom Organization 13 are those black hooded people, like the black robes. You've probably seen like 1 or 2 maybe.
No.
Yeah.
I've only seen a brown hooded guy.
Yeah, you'll. I think you run into them by the
Billy
end
Zane
of.
is what everyone's like.
Yeah, it was Billy Zane.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, this guy's voice is buttery smooth on my ears.
Oh, Billy
I
Zane.
love this guy.
Yeah.
And like it's Billy Zane.
It was Billy Zane. Yeah, he doesn't. Sadly, he doesn't voice that character after Kingdom Hearts 1. I don't know why.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, you'll run in Organization 13, I think at the very end of that game. And it is, boy, that starts a trip. Kingdom Hearts is real great. All right, let's move on to news stories. Atlas teased, in the way only Atlas can, a thing called Persona 5R, which was a 20-second trailer that just said, yo, it's called Persona 5R. And that's all we know, really. They've said
on platforms or anything.
Yeah, they said that it's going to be quote unquote new projects, plural, and that's about it. So the trailer opened with the PS4 logo, so probably safe to assume it's at least coming out on PS4. But it would be really nice if any of that stuff would also come out on at least Switch. So, the thing is, like, I don't even know what this could be. It almost sounds like with R, putting the letter R on the end, maybe it's like almost like Persona 3 FES, we talked about at the top of the show.
That's what I was thinking, like it's going to be like the Persona 3 FES or Persona 4 Golden. So.
Right. Just more stuff.
That's what I figured. I thought this was going to be hey, guess what? We're releasing on Xbox and Switch 2 now, and we've added more stuff to everyone's copy or something.
Yeah, and there's a PC port or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know they registered a bunch of Persona 5 add-a-letter websites in Japan, like a dozen.
Yeah, p5r.jp, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would be happy to make a joke about a Persona 5 dancing game, but that already came out. So, I'm not sure. Like Musum said, I'd be really happy if it would come out on multiple platforms, just so more people can play Persona 5, because it's not my favorite of the series, but it's still really great.
I still love Persona 5 a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. I played Persona 5 the other night. I forgot about that. It's still a great game. But, no,
yeah.
I really like that game a lot. And the visuals and the feels and the music for it. So I'd love to see it get around more. I feel like for a game that released exclusively on PlayStation 4 that Sony didn't really do it justice in kind
and PS3, don't forget.
advertising. I did forget.
Yeah.
I need to get that PS3 copy before they're
Yeah, I was just thinking that,
$500.
like, oh man, I need to go buy one of those. Man. And second news story here, EA has detailed the demo dates for Anthem, a game we haven't really talked about in quite a while. They have two sets of demos. The VIP demo, people that have either pre-ordered Anthem, like myself, or they have EA Access or Origin Access on whatever platforms those are on. You can play that on January 25th, or beginning on January 25th. And then an open demo is going to come out for anyone that hasn't pre-ordered on February 1st. So that'll be, comes out on February 22nd, so you'll have a little bit of time to check that out beforehand. I did play I was invited to play the closed alpha, but part of that stipulation was that I don't talk about it at all. So I was hoping to talk about it on the show, and I can't. So, 1,000 pardons, but I guess I might be able to talk about it when the VIP demo comes out. So maybe check back next month. I might be able to. But
that'll probably be easy enough just to get on Amazon or Best Buy or somewhere and pre-order it and get the demo code and then cancel it. Like they'll.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it on PS4 because I asked Musum. I said, "Hey, are you going to be buying it?" And yeah, maybe on PS4. I said, "All right, well, I'll pre-order it there." And that. When you pre-ordered it from the PSN store, it just said, the demo will download when it's ready. It's like, all right, cool. Okay. I'll be ready then. So, yeah. Mina, are you interested in Anthem?
I don't know. I've been hesitant to buy into Anthem.
Yeah. You don't want to get Destiny bitten?
Yeah, I'm glad people enjoy Destiny 2 now, but man, I've been once bitten, twice shy now on a lot of things. So I'm just kind of like, I'll wait a couple months.
Right.
Let people figure it out, and then I'll dip my finger in and get it. Especially when I have so limited funds to buy games. If I get something that's bad, I feel so upset.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I got a bunch of gift cards for Christmas, and I was like, okay, well, with this money, I guess I'll go get Anthem, because if it doesn't pan out, then it's like, well, okay, I didn't really spend my money, so take the bite out of it a little bit. But that's all of our news stories we have this month, and that's our episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at pickingupthepixels.com. All the places to find and follow us are on the right-hand side of the page. Don't forget Patreon, patreon.com/E1M1, the ones or numbers, to get cool behind-the-scenes and early access stuff, and help me pay for the show, because it is very much not free. It's free for you to watch and listen, very much not free for me to put out. Where can we find you on the internet, Musum?
You can visit my music website, jbaudio.net, I hope that's the website.
That's correct.
And buy my music on iTunes and musum.bandcamp.com and all that.
And if you're not listening to TVGP's We Rogue Like It, there's a brand new intro song written by Musum. Musum called it a new intro for Dexter, which I think is very appropriate. It is very good and fits that show perfectly. Mina, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch, on Mina KO Rocket, and also YouTube in the same handle. I post a bunch of videos. I stream a lot, and I'm actually going to be streaming way, way, way more this month and future months.
Nice.
And if you are just interested in mobile stuff, you can find me on YouTube under Mobile Mina. And Boston?
You can find all my shows, e1m1.com. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next month.
Bye.
Bye.